Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be doing a full face review and tutorial using Kalon Cosmetics products. This video is actually sponsored by Kalon, which I'm super grateful for, and I'm so excited to be working with them. I have been testing these products out for months now, definitely taking my sweet time, so I hope you enjoy getting to hear my thoughts on them as they are a super cool indie brand. And I'm just so excited to be sharing this with y'all. I know this isn't super relevant to the video, but I just have to say that they have been one of the kindest brands I've worked with, and I have full control over this video, so I really appreciate that. And I wanted to go ahead and quickly read off from their website what Kalon Cosmetics is all about, how they started and everything before we jump on into the tutorial. Oh my gosh, I feel horrible. It says Kalon. It's pronounced Kalon Cosmetics. Kalon. My sincerest apologies. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Kalon Cosmetics' mission is to change the cosmetic industry inside and out by promoting the beauty of art, but focus on the skin deep wars to ignite the beauty spirit. Kalon Cosmetics' journey kicked off with products we believed in to build an audience and funds to share our sole purpose with others. We embrace the art, we embrace what the artistry can do for others, and we embrace each artist individually too. Kalon Cosmetics was created by a woman who started off as a makeup artist over 9 years ago and sought after her TV film makeup artistry certification. During the low points in her life, she discovered she was artistic and creative that drove her to her passion and dreams. Making someone feel beautiful and confident changed her life. She evolved from creating an event called You Can Make It. YCMI was based in Atlanta, where she went to day shelters for women and children who were going through hardships, struggles, domestic violence, and much more. She developed a team of volunteers to provide food service, makeup artistry, and hairstylists to prepare women for job interviews or potential opportunities. Years of doing makeup professionally, she knew that she could change lives on a larger spectrum, and later developed Kalon Cosmetics, launched in July 2016. Kalon Cosmetics was set to sell beauty products to raise finance for a predominant goal of Kalon Cosmetics. Our goal is to develop products and collections dedicated to a cause or awareness, example, mental health, bullying, lupus, Sjogren's, fibromyalgia, heart disease, multiple sclerosis, sickle cell, and more. The collections include sharing someone's story, mission cards to complete one act of kindness, and information regarding the independent charity who receives donations/proceeds from the Goddess collections. We all face trials and traumas in our life, and we want no one to feel left alone. If we can shed light on obstacles many face day to day, and many feeling encouraged to tell their story to help others, we can make an impact. Let's bring light into others. We can all be goddesses. I don't know why that was such a struggle for me to read today, but hopefully that gives you a little bit more light inside the brand. I feel like they definitely have a true heart behind them and a goal for missions and just helping others. Just wanted to mention also that if you are interested in purchasing anything, they were kind enough to give me an affiliate code, which is just Amy Loves, and I believe it saves you 10% off your order if I'm correct, but I will have all the information down below. So now let's go ahead and jump on in. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off this look with the Vitamin E stick, which is in like lipstick packaging, but it's actually just like a moisturizing chapstick. It doesn't feel too thick on the lips. It's a good like prep for lipstick, so I like to put this on before I do any of my other makeup. For primer today, I'm going to go into the Velvet Veil Primer, which looks like this, and this is more of like a silicone-y type of primer, but it actually makes me feel like really reminiscent. Here's what it looks like on. I normally just take a tiny little bit and I put that into like the T-zone of my face. My cat's caterwauling. I'm just going to go ahead and rub that in right there, but this makes me feel sentimental because it reminds me a lot of the Bare Minerals primer. I can't remember what that was called exactly, but that was like the first like makeup product that made me really interested in makeup. I know it's so silly, but I remember like the first time I had my friend's mom was doing my makeup for, gosh, it must have been like homecoming or something in high school, and she put this type of primer all over my face, and I remember being so like, what is that? Why is my skin so soft? And I like went and bought it with some of my babysitting money like immediately, and that was like one of the first like purchases when I started getting into makeup. So this feels just like that. It's just a super smoothing, soft primer. I normally prefer something with a little bit of hydration, so if I know I'm going to use this, I definitely use a like thick moisturizer beforehand, but it does make the skin feel really soft. And even though it does feel a little bit silicone-y, it doesn't feel like cheap silicone, if that makes sense at all. It actually says the silky blend of vitamins and antioxidants smooth skin, while the jojoba esters help soothe and protect. Works well as a foundation primer for a flawless finish or alone to soften and hydrate bare skin. So soft. I don't have a foundation from Kalon, so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly apply my Milani foundation and concealer in the shade 00A, just because this is my go-to when I'm breaking out, because it's like more of like a soft finish and it's decent coverage, which obviously I'm dying a little bit right there. Actually, before I even go with the foundation, I've already got it pumped, but I'm going to go ahead and just use some spot concealer. Just cover these bad boys up. Alright, so for concealer, Kalon has the Advanced Longwear Concealer, which comes in little tubes like this. And I'm not going to be using these today just because none of the shades are light enough for me, but I figured I'd swatch them really quickly for y'all. Here, let me just make sure I'm doing this in order. Okay, I'll start off with Extra Light number 1. Alright, so there's Extra Light number 1. Just a little bit too dark for me. There's Extra Light number 2. And then here is light number 1. So those are the 3 lightest shades. I really hope that they expand to some more in the future. The formula looks nice, like it looks kind of like dewy, but I haven't used it just because, I mean, it would look ridiculous on my under eyes, so can't really review that, but I wanted to swatch them for you really quickly. And I'm just going to go ahead and use my Barium concealer in the shade Milk real quick. Alright, now to set my concealer, I'm going to use the Kalon Loose Translucent Face Powder. This is talc and paraben free, and I have the shade Light. And this has 22.68 grams of product. I feel like there's a lot of product in here. I actually really ended up liking this setting powder a lot. I'm just going to go ahead and take some out. It does have a little bit of a color to it, which I feel like does show up on my skin, but it's not that big of a deal. It just adds a little bit extra coverage, I feel like. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap my concealer out one last time before I set it. Alright, so just gonna go ahead and set underneath my eyes to start off with. I really love this this powder because I feel like it blurs and it sets really well. It actually reminds me a lot of the Too Faced Sweet Peach powder, but it doesn't have any smell to it, which I also appreciate because I feel like there's a lot of powders out there that just have like a weird smell to them, or a grandma smell, or like the peachy smell is very strong. So if you are sensitive to that, then this might be a good option. And the fact that it's talc free is also you know, a good idea for, I know a lot of people are sensitive to talc, so I feel like this just sets the skin so well. It just makes it blurred and beautiful, and overall I think it's a really good powder. Like, does that not look like so smooth underneath my eyes? Alright, I just wanted to show you what that looks like super up close. My camera does not want to focus on me, but super smooth. Alright, next for bronzer, I'm going to go into the bronzing powder in light bronze. Again, talc and paraben free. And this just looks like this. It does have, it almost looks like it has a little bit of an orange undertone to it. So for me, with this bronzer, I feel like as long as I use like a softer, like more fluffy brush, it doesn't pick up the orange too much and it looks pretty natural on the skin, but I wouldn't use this bronzer with a dense brush. I'm just going to go ahead and grab this one from Real Techniques. I feel like it's just like, it's my ideal summer bronzer because I don't know if you can tell, but it has just the tiniest little bit of a sheen to it. And I love that because I feel like it just makes it look so much softer and more natural on the skin. So I feel like it blends easily. It's just like my ideal shimmery bronzer. Just adds that soft, like bronzy glow. But you can see, like using a brush like this, I feel like there it looks kind of orange, and here it looks sheared out and the color looks fine for fair skin. Kind of gives me the same vibes as like the Kevyn Aucoin Neo bronzer. I think it's actually a highlighter, but I use it as a bronzer, the one that has candlelight in it. And then it also kind of reminds me of like the Essence Pure Nude highlighter, which I use as a bronzer. Alright, really quickly, I'm just going to go ahead and do my brows off camera and then I'll be right back. Alright, so not the best brow day ever, but I just went ahead and did that, and then I quickly primed with the Opal eye primer. Now for eyeshadow, I'm so excited. I'm going to go ahead and use the Achilles Goddess Collection Volume 1, which looks like this. It is such a beautiful palette. Let me just show you the inside real quick. There is a nice size mirror, and then here are the shades. I feel like these are all like, it's just like the perfect like smoky, colorful palette. Super pretty, fun choices. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch them all really quickly just to show you what they look like swatched out. I did want to mention really quickly that the proceeds for this palette do go to the American Autoimmune Related Diseases Association, and they say that it is to increase autoimmune disease awareness, educate the public, facilitate research, and advocate for legislative change. Right here is Oak, Wisteria, and Ivy. Gonna do a second swatch just so you can see they do definitely build up. Next we have Chime, Silver Fox, and Healer. Next we have Divine, Siren, which is one of the like more dry feeling shades. The others are a lot more creamy, and then Lunar. And then last but not least we have Oracle. Oh my gosh, I swatched that way out of line. Eucalyptus, and Soothe. Obviously not my best day for swatching, but there's all the shades. You can see it is like a smoky, like half colorful, half neutral palette. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the shade Oracle. And I'm going to put that right into my crease. Definitely want to do more of a purple look today. So I'm just going to go ahead and build that shade up through my crease. I do feel like the mattes are more of a buildable formula, but they do blend pretty well. I'm going with just a little bit more of a precise brush to build that purple up in the crease. So just going to go ahead and take that purple along the lower lash line as well. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the deep purple right here called Wisteria. I'm going to use that shade on my outer V. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and grab this shade right here called Silver Fox. And I'm going to go ahead and put this all over the lid. I'm just going to go ahead and lightly blend out that edge there between the purple and the silver. Go ahead and pick up a little bit on my finger just to show you the difference in intensity. I'm going to grab a touch of Lunar, and I'm just going to slightly highlight underneath my brow with that. Now for my inner corner, I'm going to go into one of their pigments, and this is the shade 21 Opal. This is so beautiful. I don't know if you can tell in the little jar, but it is like a white purple duochrome. This is definitely my favorite shade that they offer in their pigments because it's just such a pretty duochrome. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up with my little pencil brush, and I am going to spray it just a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and pop that on the inner corner. And it looks really, really beautiful in person. It has just like that soft opalescent purple. It's only barely showing up on the monitor, but just to show you a swatch real quick, here's what that shade looks like. I've also used it as a highlighter, and I think it's really beautiful for that too. And then I just wanted to give a special little shout out to another pigment of theirs that I really like, although I'm not going to be using it today. This is pretty on the eye, or I've used it as like a blush highlight topper type thing. This is Pink Mocha, and it's just a really beautiful rose gold type shade. So there is Pink Mocha. Oh, did you see that? I just dropped like the entire amount of pigment that was on my finger. Good job. Let's do that again. So there is Pink Mocha. Super beautiful as well. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eyes. I do have two different eyeliners from Kalon. One is Vava Violet, which is a purple, and the other is Azul, which is a blue. And I'm actually not a fan of these. I feel like they are, like, they'll come up, like, they look pigmented there, but I'm pressing hard. And I feel like if you want to use these, like, on your waterline, which is where I would prefer to, I feel like you just have to press way too hard. They're not delicate or creamy enough to use the way I want to use an eyeliner. There's the purple, which they look pretty swatched out, but just like trying to do it here, I feel like I have to sit there and like really try and build it up. And it's like barely any color. So these are definitely not my favorite eyeliners. I wouldn't recommend purchasing them. I wish that they were more creamy. And I have pencil eyeliners that I like in the waterline, but these are just too stiff. See if you can tell. Oh, I just poked myself. Ugh. I'm just gonna quickly throw on the mascara that I have open right now just to finish off the eyes. Alright, let's go ahead and finish the face. So I have a few different blush options. They do have some cream blushes, which I actually do really like. I'm not going to use them today just because I already used powder and everything. This one right here is called Peach Blossom, and this is like a matte creamy, I would say it's more of a coral than a true peach, but it does look really beautiful on the skin. It kind of has like a more like, I don't even know how to describe the feeling of this. Oh my god, that looks really pigmented. I use this with a sponge, not my fingers. I haven't even swatched them before. I've just been using them like as a sponge and just like dipping and then doing a little bit. So I was kind of just blown away just now swatching that out. It looks incredibly pigmented, but it's just like a really like soft, like dewy looking blush. Like, I don't know if you can tell, it has like a little bit of like a natural sheen to it. I really like that one on the cheeks. I think it looks really beautiful for just like a summery flush. And then the other one that I have is Snapdragon, and this one is pretty, but it's not my absolute favorite because I feel like it has like gold glitter flecks throughout it. Like, it has a sheen, but it also has like a slight glitter to it. This one is not quite as like crazy impactful. Like, it's not as like dang. Like, this one I feel like shears out more, but it does have just like a little bit of a gold like glitter sheen throughout it. So there's Snapdragon and then Peach Blossom. Alright, so I'm actually going to be using some powder blush today, which I have like the other face products I have from them in this little palette. This is actually from a different brand, so just ignore that one. But I've got two blushes here and a highlighter. So unfortunately, the blushes, I can't tell you the actual name. I can only tell you the number. One of my constructive criticism things for like their new single pans and stuff would be that they definitely need to be labeled. Because if you're someone like me who has like 8 million pans and they're not labeled, it can be kind of frustrating to remember what is what. And I can't tell you guys the exact name. I'll try and figure it out if I can see, but this is BO number 468C01. It's a really beautiful peach. Has a little bit of a sheen to it. And then the other one is BO number 235A01. It's more of a coral. I like these. I feel like they are beautiful. They're a little bit pigmented, but I just go in with a more fluffy brush and just kind of lightly dust them on the cheeks. I feel like they're all really beautiful, like warm, springy colors. I just realized I did such a cool tone eye look, and I'm going to do like a super warm blush that doesn't exactly go, but it's fine. I'm going to use that like the first peachy one that I swatched, and just, I only went in with a tiny bit, and then I like did this with my brush too. So now I'm just going to like lightly blend that into the skin. Such a beautiful color, even if it doesn't go with my eye look. Alright, now I'm going to go into the Golden Glow highlighter, which looks like this. And this is really beautiful on the cheek. I'll swatch it for y'all. It's very intense, very pretty. I feel like it looks like, whenever I put it on my cheekbone, I feel like it has a little bit of a deeper base to it. So I feel like I normally want to go with more of a fluffy brush and kind of blend this shade back into the cheekbone. I actually really like using this and pairing it with Ofra Pillow Talk. I'll show you guys how I do that if I can find a highlight blush. I can't find the exact fluffy highlight brush I wanted to go in with, but that's fine. I'll still show you what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit. See, whenever I turn forward, I feel like you can see the shadow just a little bit with this one. It's not horrible, but it is a really beautiful glow. Honestly, I'm looking at my face and I feel like this highlighter looks even better than I remember last time I used it. It could have just been the blush that I used, because sometimes the blush and highlight together will make the highlight look darker. I feel like I could definitely get away with wearing it on its own the way it is right now, and I think it looks pretty. But one of my favorite tricks that I'll just share with you really quickly is I take one of my lighter highlights. This is Over a Glazed Donut, which is obviously very loved. I just pick up just a tiny little bit of that, and I put it at just the very tip of the cheekbone and just blend that into the other highlight. And I feel like it adds a little bit more dimension and glow, and it just looks like bam, but without being too bam. Alright, last but not least, let's go ahead and jump on into lipsticks. I have quite a few different products to talk to y'all about, and I want to swatch them all. I was thinking of doing lip swatches, but I feel like if I do that, I'm going to die. So I'll just go ahead and swatch all of these colors on my hand. First, I have some lip liners, and these are fine. They're just regular pencil lip liners. They're still a little bit dry, kind of like the eyeliners, but I feel like it doesn't matter as much for lips because you can get like really precise, and like it doesn't hurt to like press down on your lips the way it does to press in your waterline, so I don't mind at all. This is the shade Mocha. It's just like a deeper neutral shade. And then we have Warm Brandy, and last but not least is the shade Boisenbarry. So it's a little bit definitely like a drier formula. I would use these just to line the lips, not to fill the entire lips in if you do have drier lips. And they're fine. I don't think they're anything to rave about. Like, they're not my favorite lip liners ever, but they do work, and I'll probably end up using Mocha today. Actually, I'm probably feeling lazy. Maybe I won't use a lip liner today. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk about their bullet lipstick formula, which I have quite a few shades to share with you. I'm just going through really quickly to divide which ones are matte and which ones aren't. We'll do the mattes first. We have Matte Dusty Rose, and I have been wearing their lip products in lots of videos, pre-filmed and like over the last few months. So, you know, if you want to see them applied, you can just probably like go on my main YouTube thing and do Canon Cosmetics. This is the shade Desert Sand, which is a really pretty nude. And then we have Sierra. So those are the matte shades. I think I may have more, but I'm not sure where I put them because I'm kind of a mess. I tried to keep all the products together. So now moving on to the regular lipsticks. First, I have the shade Simply Mauve. Which is a really pinky mauve shade. Daring. Winterberry, which I absolutely love this shade. Cranberry, which I'll admit I haven't worn that one on its own yet, just because that's not normally what I go for. And then last but not least is Brandy Rose. I think just for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and do Winterberry today. So as far as my review of the bullet lipsticks, I feel like the matte ones are not my favorite just because they're very tuggy whenever you apply them to the lips. I feel like I definitely always have to go in and apply a lip gloss over those just because that's what I personally prefer. I feel like the bottom ones that I swatched, the satin ones, or not satin, they're just not labeled as matte, are definitely a lot easier to apply and more comfortable. As you can see, like, it looks almost glossy. It's not like a cream finish, but it's kind of in between. So I prefer that formula a little bit more. Alright, next, my favorite lip formula and my favorite product from Canon Cosmetics as a whole is definitely their Creme lipsticks. I have been using these non-stop and I love them so much. My favorite shade is definitely, where are you, Creme Brûlée, because it is a beautiful nude. These kind of remind me of the Marc Jacobs gloss sticks. Maybe not quite as glossy, but pretty similar. And I just feel like they're just so comfortable. That was a horrible swatch. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just a beautiful sheen. It's just like a really soft, glossy finish, super comfortable, and I love this color. Like, I feel like it is my perfect nude. So I have definitely been using this one so much and loving that one. I also really love the shade Dragonfruit, even though it doesn't normally, like, it's not my normal color, but this shade, and then putting it more onto the center and then topping it with like a clear gloss is absolutely beautiful. It's just like a really bright sheer pink shade. And then last but not least, I did like using this shade as well. It is Pinot. And I think it's pretty. It's not my go-to by any means. It's like this deeper red glossy shade, but I really love these, and I definitely want to check out some of the other shades on their website if they have other nudes, because Creme Brûlée is my favorite, and like I said, Dragonfruit. I did a look that should be coming up on my channel sometime soon, where I did that with like this shade with Fenty Beauty Diamond Milk on top, and it was just everything. So these are my favorite. These are definitely what I recommend the absolute most. I feel like they're so comfortable and just beautiful on the lips. Oh gosh, just dropped it. And drop that too. Last but not least are the liquid lipsticks, and I have 3 shades here. So first is Very Berry, which I'll do a little swatch for you here. This is just like a true berry shade. I do like the liquid lipstick formula. It's kind of like a velvety feel to it. It does take a few minutes to completely dry down, kind of like the Wet n Wild lipsticks. It takes a little bit of patience, but they do dry down all the way. This shade is really beautiful as well. What are you? This is Messie Jessie. This shade right here, it's like a deeper mauve. And then the last shade that I have is Glenda Pizzaro, which is like a deep nude on me. But I feel like it's definitely not my favorite liquid lipstick formula either. They do kind of break down within a few hours, and I noticed even I was wearing this one for like 3 hours, and then like the middle of my lips like completely was gone, which I personally just don't love. I feel like my favorite is the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick formula. That's my go-to, and those are only a few more dollars than these, I believe, so that's personally what I would recommend unless you find a color here that you really love. Like the Messie Jessie one is really beautiful, but I just feel like I wish that the wear time on these was a little bit longer. They are comfortable, I can't complain about that. They're not too drying, but I just wished, like, I don't like when they come off in the middle. I mean, you could reapply, you could make it work, but I'm just lazy. So those are all the lip products. Alright, so this is the finished look, and I figured really quickly I would just sum up my favorite products to make it real quick and easy. Just the ones that stood out to me the most as I was testing them. I would say definitely the Pigments. I really love the purple one. The rose gold is not as unique, but still beautiful. That was Opal and Pink Mocha. I really love the bronzer. I just think it has such a beautiful glow to the skin. It's super natural and luminous, but super pretty, so definitely one of my favorites. I also really love the setting powder. I just feel like it is humongous, so much product, and it makes the skin look really beautiful, so I really like that. And then also the lip cremes. I just can't get enough of these, and I feel like now that I'm done testing and I finally filmed this video, because I've been testing for a long time, I'm going to go ahead and move Creme Brûlée into my purse just because I love it so much, and it's so slick and like tiny, and like, I don't know, I love the packaging and I love the formula of those. And then last but not least is the Achelois Goddess Collection palette. I just really love this. I feel like it's very unique, and I love that it goes to charity and it's doing good things in the world, and also it's just a beautiful smoky palette. I feel like if you love cool tones and you love color, this definitely could be a palette for you. I think the only thing different that I would do in this palette is I wish, even though this shade is beautiful, like it is super metallic and foiled, I wish this shade right here called Healer, I wish it was like a lavendery periwinkle shade. I think that would have added something really interesting to the mix of shades here. But overall, really love this palette. Alright, so that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!